Yeah, Max and Tamara, we're starting to learn more about the gunman, Stephen Paddock, as police continue their investigation and release the names of more victims, 3 of which you just heard are from Utah. He broke the window of this old LDS church and climbed down, thinking this would be a good place to evade police. But little did he know, the door was latched from the outside. The DWR says if you see a moose and you feel like it's acting aggressive and you want to get away, the best thing to do is to slowly back up while maintaining eye contact. Don't turn and run away. Looking out your rear view mirror or even a backup camera is not enough. Spot the Todd is teaching people to roll down both of their windows so they can hear children outside and take a look at your side view mirror before you back up. Police say he beat her with a PVC pipe that looks like this. It's thick and dense. Listen to when I hit it against this yellow barrier. And police say he hit her so hard that this was in pieces, scattered around the house. Yeah, the defense called several witnesses today, including the suspect's parents and grandfather, to try and convince the judge to try this case in juvenile court. And while the victim was sitting here at the wheel, one of the suspects held a knife to her throat, while the other one went around the car and grabbed her purse from the passenger seat. Certainly a crazy turn of events, but it all started this afternoon when we were called here to the office of Attorney Robert Sykes, who's handled several excessive use of force cases against police. Now, we want to warn you that some of the images you're about to see may be disturbing to some viewers.
It was like a nightmare. It seemed unreal.
Meet 61-year-old Jackie Sanchez.
It's all numb because of nerve damage.
He says these are injuries he received from a Salt Lake City police canine in late July.
It's uncalled for and unjustified.
In this body camera footage, you can see Sanchez lying on the ground next to a bus stop in front of the Matheson courthouse. He was admittedly inebriated, but says he wasn't breaking the law when he was approached by Officer Benjamin Hone and his canine. According to Hone's statement, Sanchez became verbally abusive. He went on to say, due to Mr. Sanchez refusing to obey my commands, threatening me, and aggressively pursuing me into heavy traffic, I decided to have Canine Ted engage Mr. Sanchez.
He wasn't doing anything wrong.
Sydney Kaplan says she saw the interaction while walking her dog. You can see her here holding her dog in the body camera footage.
He was drunk, and he was saying things over and over, but he wasn't like saying I'm going to hurt you or threatening the officer.
Attorney Robert Sykes says this is a clear example of excessive use of force.
There's no basis for this canine to be released in this situation, okay? This man was unarmed.
But just after the press conference wrapped, Salt Lake City police showed up.
I wanted to talk to Mr. Sykes.
They took Sanchez into custody right outside Sykes' office, claiming they had a warrant out for his arrest stemming from this exact incident. So you said the warrant was filed prior to the announcement of the press conference?
Correct.
So why didn't you pursue it prior to today?
Well, right now we've had a rash of assaults on police officers in the last little while. This was one of those, and so we felt it was important to get this out.
The police come and arrest him on a beef that's almost 5 months old.
Sanchez has now been charged with assault against a police officer.
This is absolutely outrageous. I can't believe this happened.
Sykes says that he may be amending this lawsuit now to include malicious prosecution. Reporting from downtown Salt Lake City, I'm Dora Scheidell, Fox 13 News, Utah. Bob and Hope, the barricades have been removed and the crowds have dispersed, but a few hours ago, the steps here at the Utah State Capitol looked a lot different, packed with people protesting President Trump and the actions he took today regarding our state's national monuments. On his trip to Utah, about Utah, the president is welcomed by thousands of angry Utahns.
The man has never spent a day in nature. How about he goes out and actually sees what he's doing?
Braving the cold, holding signs with a clear message.
The Utah people stand with their national monuments, and that these are really important places to Utahns and Americans.
Inside the state capitol, President Trump signed 2 executive orders shrinking the national monuments at Bears Ears and Grand Staircase Escalante, an action that protesters say goes against the wishes of the Native American tribes.
This is our land. This is where we live and where we grow up, and that's why it's significant, and our land needs to be protected.
President Trump says he's doing what the people want. But these protesters aren't buying it. Whether politically motivated,
Is that it's a political favor for Orrin Hatch, who still has sour grapes about how the Grand Staircase was designated 21 years ago, which is a shame because it's been a real benefit to our communities.
or financially.
We believe that his motivations lie with special interests. There is already an effort to put oil and gas leasing near Bears Ears National Monument.
They say
Both Senator Hatch and Donald Trump are on the wrong side of history.
after demonstrating at the Capitol, they took their protest to the streets, blocking off the intersection of State Street and 100 South. Every voice matters. Determined to be heard.
President Trump lacks the legal authority to take this action. It'll be overturned. The fight really just starts today.
So as you just heard, the legal fight starts today. Several groups, including the Sierra Club and the Southern Utah Wilderness Alliance, plan to file suit in federal court to stop these executive orders in their tracks. Reporting live from the Utah State Capitol, I'm Dora Scheidell, Fox 13 News, Utah. This is the race these Riverton runners had been waiting for all season.
Our training plan, everything was geared towards state, so we wanted to win state for sure.
Junior Blake Lewis was 400 meters from the finish line when he felt a sharp pain in his leg.
And then like 300, it started really hurting, and then like 200, I just heard my bones snap.
It was so loud, his mom heard it from where she was cheering.
I thought he stepped on a branch.
He fell to the ground screaming in agony.
It was excruciating. Like, it was like no other pain I've ever felt.
I have never actually heard him scream like that before.
Blake's mom was about to hop the fence and run to her son when she saw his teammate Sean Roush run up to him.
I put him on my shoulders. He was screaming the whole way, but, you know, I kept telling him we're a family, we're a team, and we're all in this together.
The rule at state championships is that you're not allowed to touch another runner during a meet, so both boys were disqualified, and for Sean, that was a pretty big sacrifice.
This is my senior year. This was obviously my last opportunity to race at state, so this was obviously a big meet for me. He picked me up and brought me to the finish line and disqualified himself for something greater, and definitely made my day.
Sean carried Blake to the edge of the finish line and then helped him as he hobbled across.
As soon as I saw him, I gave him a big hug and I told him he's a hero to me.
I'm not a hero, I'm just Blake's brother.
Sacrificing his success to literally pick up his teammate when he's down.
I run thousands of miles with this guy, and like, you just, when someone picks you up, that you know that they love you, you know.
You hope that your son would be that kind of kid, that your son would pick that person up and carry them in. And I was so grateful for Sean that he was that kid.